Hey you guys, so I want to talk about Heartstopper Season 2. I'm just going to talk about Season 2. I'm not going to go over the whole show. And I'm going to try my best not to talk about any spoilers either. If I do, I'll put it in the title and or the description. I'll probably do both. The thing with this show, and especially this season that I loved so much, is it's cute. And what I mean by that is you're like it's not, I don't want to say glamorizing, but it's just kind of young love. Like it's innocent, if that makes sense. Like it's not something where it's like showing too much or doing too much. It's, hey, you have these kids trying to figure out their feelings, and what do those feelings mean? I think when I watched this show, the newest season, I guess I should say, I sat there and I'm like, it makes me wonder if a show like this came out like 10 years ago, would, certain people that I know, I wouldn't say would that change anything, but there are people within my life that I know who identify within the LGBTQ plus community, and I feel like sometimes shows like this, it's, hey, this is to help, there's three approaches, I feel. There's entertaining, educating, and then connecting. This show does a good job, I think, of all three. Mostly it's going to be the entertaining and connecting part, while the educating, that's sprinkled in there as well, where it's you are educated more so in regards to, sexuality. What does sexuality mean? Again, with the connecting factor, this is how this character is feeling. It may or may not be similar to what you're feeling. It's not something where it's like, oh, you feel this way, you must be this too. That's not what it's ever doing. It's not trying to push anything down anyone's throat. It's more so just opening up that conversation where it's, how do you feel? And with what you're feeling, it may relate to a character, it may not. But that's where it takes, I would say, more research on, the viewer's part, because the show's only going to do so much, and it's more so, again, to entertain and, share this story, instead of, oh, this is like an hour-long episode about how, what this means. But I think it takes a good approach of explaining these things, and never, I don't think, doing anything in a harmful way. You do have within, the normal, I would almost call it negatives, or the normal storylines, where it's, if I come out, what will happen? What's the family situation? Is it going to be, positive, or is it going to be negative? Will I get bullied? Will this happen? That happen? Etc., etc. And not only does it, I would say, focus on, I think, that aspect of things, it also, I think, does a good job of mentally, looking at what are the internal struggles of, or the internal consequences, I would say, of some of those outside factors. So, and this is probably the one spoiler I will talk about. Charlie, he says how he's going, he's struggling internally. He's, he has an eating disorder, and I thought, explained so well. And I was like, I wish, I wish I would have had that writer with me. Because sometimes I think it really is hard to explain these sorts of things, and how it's approached and kind of, looked at within the show, like if you really watch for it, aside from them just like, oh, you know, you barely ate, like you kind of see that consistency. And I think it does a good job of just, teenagers, real problems, it's like struggles that they're going through. Some people may understand, some may not. And, it's not even just like Nick and Charlie were like they're the main, because they are like a lot of people enjoy them, but like if you even look at his friends, if you look at Elle, they look at, you know, I think with, Charlie's friends, his friend group, they really take a look at each of their feelings and try to give them the screen time that they need, and give them the story, progress it a little bit, and I wouldn't say again learn something new, but with Elle, she'll come into contact with other people with like this art school, and you have these interactions where you almost understand more. Um, I just think it's a cute show. Like I do feel at times, again, if shows like this came out earlier, I feel it would be very beneficial. A lot of, I think, people would start to have a little bit of understanding, not saying they have to figure it out right away, but they would at least know, and then with that knowledge can kind of proceed, you know, um, because I do think that's one thing that's sort of missing at times, where it's, we don't focus on the feelings, and we don't focus on what different things mean, and not everyone's just going to be a carbon footprint of another. So I think it was very well done. I'm excited to see where season 3 goes, with continuing the storylines, continuing to see where the characters go. I'm hoping for Charlie always, and especially with how I think Nick is too, and he's trying to help and get a little bit educated. It's cute. Like I love it. It's a cute show. I very much recommend. And this season the show just keeps giving. I love it. If you've watched the show, feel free to leave your thoughts down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.